Welcome back to the Blue Jays Today Show, coming from the Sports Interaction Studio, where we always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. And man, I feel like we've been saying the same things about the Toronto Blue Jays for quite a while. This next stretch will determine the Blue Jays season. This next series is what we need to get back to where we need to be competitive. And right now, we got a really hard stretch upcoming before the All-Star break. But if they do well on this stretch, yes, they can get themselves back into, I guess, some sort of buying window and back into some competitive atmosphere, because lately it's been pretty dull. But we're riding off a win against the Mets, a series win off of Canada Day, so maybe there's a little bit of momentum right there. But we're going to discuss this right here. We're going to just discuss our feelings, discuss maybe a potential sell, a potential buy, what we need to do ahead, looking at the schedule, and then, of course, the upcoming series against the Mariners. What's up, everybody? Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. Yeah, the season has definitely been one where we're, like I keep saying, I'm moving the goalposts quite a bit, and that does just keep happening. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what you need to do, though, if you want to stay in on this team, because, yeah, like, your expectations have not been met up until this point. That's clear, right? Like, nobody walked into this season and expected us or was hoping that we would be 3.5 games back from the wild card and 5 games back of 500 on July, what is it, third today?
My God.
Like nobody expected that. So
yeah.
to honestly keep in it and to keep telling yourself, like, okay, this team's got a shot. Yeah, we do need to keep moving the goalposts, but there is going to come a time eventually where it no longer actually, the upcoming stretch doesn't actually matter anymore because they are so far back or because they are out of it. We're not there yet, but we are getting to that place. Like, I do genuinely believe that this stretch leading up to the All-Star break, depending on what it is that they actually do or don't do, could be the whole season then and there. Like, if they end up being at the All-Star break 8 games below 500, which is not, like, that's well within the range of possibilities. I mean, I think that's when you can actually 100% say, okay, like, pack it in, that we are cooked now. Alternatively, though, if they get back to 500, you know, like, then that
unless if they're 8 games below 500, but somehow, some way, we're still, like, within 3 games of a wild card. It's like, that's the thing, and that's what Drew Gamer's saying in the chat. The reason every week it becomes the most important stretch is because other teams aren't doing well either.
That's
like,
fair.
Nobody wants to take this division or take the American League away. Like,
that's fair.
You got the Yankees, you got the Rays, but other than that, it's like, holy crap, like, we're all a bunch of mid teams, and it's really sad. So again, like we discussed before, as long as they're all sucking and we're still sucking, we're technically still in it, but it's still uninspiring baseball. I think that's where we're coming from.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you know what? Yes, I guess technically, like, we could still theoretically be in this thing 8 games under 500. You know,
so
if
sad.
Everybody else is terrible. Looking over at the standings right now, though, there are a couple squads that are, like, kind of picking it up a little bit. We're going to play the Seattle Mariners tonight, and we'll break down that full series with you guys. I mean, they're now 2 games above 500, and I think that's actually, like, the first time this season, or at least in my memory, that the last wild card of the American League is now above 500 and not just a 500 team or below 500, because a large part of the season it was like a team 2 games below 500 is the final team in the wild card. That's just not going to land. Like, I don't see any team being under 500 making it into the wild card when this whole season's said and done. You are eventually going to have to be at minimum 3, 4, probably 5 games over 500 when it's all said and done. So Seattle's starting to pick it up a little bit. We'll see what they do there. Obviously, like, with them too, you got to talk about the Texas Rangers, because they're in the exact same division, same boat, same record as well. So, you know, if one of them wants to fall off, that'll be very favorable for the Toronto Blue Jays. It doesn't help us either, though, that Houston has decided that they're going to start playing decent ball. Bad run differential, but they are 6-4 in their last 10, which is significantly better than us. There are teams in here that eventually someone's going to do it. I don't know when. And I don't know when, and I don't know who, but someone's going to figure it out eventually.
Well, that's the thing. You're talking about the Mariners. They're actually a team that's starting to pick it up right now. And I said this for a long, long time. There's going to come a point when a team decides, you know what, let's stop being ass and mid and let's actually start being a good baseball team. Because eventually when you're playing each other in the American League, you're going to have to beat up on the other American League teams. You're not going to keep losing to all the National League teams. Mariners feel like that team right now. And the Blue Jays have an opportunity to kind of stop that momentum this weekend. Like this weekend, it's an ALCS rematch. You know, we have a pretty decent rivalry against them in the last 5 years.
Oh, for
I would
sure.
say.
I consider them to be honestly more of a rival maybe than anyone else. Actually,
it's almost like a respected rivalry too, because like they beat us, we beat them. It's a good one. But point being is like this is a chance for you as the Blue Jays to kind of take matters in your own hands and stop that momentum rather than just hoping that they all suck. You can actually make them suck by beating them.
That's true. And this is probably one of the bigger swings series that we're going to have leading up to the trade deadline. Like if you were to, for instance, go into Seattle and take 3 games off of them, well, right now, I mean, you're staring down the wild card. Like you would be.
Yeah. You'd be half a game.
You'd be half a game back of them. But who knows what the other teams do? But you know what? Like you'd be right in that mix, and you will have brought them down a peg. I do think, just zooming out for a second, it is rather crazy. Like if somebody would have told you last year, like during the ALCS, that these two teams they would meet like 8 months later. And we'd be looking at, a just over 500 ball club and a under 500 ball club.
Under,
I mean, that would be like, that's kind of baffling, actually, like how crazy Seattle and Toronto have fallen off. Because I was looking at Seattle personally as being the scariest team in the American League walking into this season. And I was thinking that like Blue Jays were number 2, number 3. Like we were right there with them. And so the fact that we're doing this ALCS rematch and it's a 45-43 versus a 41-46, pretty crazy.
Well, honestly, I think that the Mariners are actually a much better team than they let on, according to the record, because their pitching staff is, I think they're both bullpen and starting pitching are top 6 in baseball. So that's a top pitching staff. The reason why their offense is so bad is Cal Raleigh. That's a massive swing.
It's kind of crazy though that they're having similar to, like, lesser extent, but similar to us, where it's their star guy that was awesome last year is just completely fallen off a cliff. Now I do believe that in his instance, and I'm relating it to Vladdy obviously with us, right? I do believe in his instance he's had a lot more injury stuff going on this year. Like I think that's a big reason why he is not himself. Who knows? Maybe Vladdy is as well, and he's just hiding it better, right? But Raleigh did go on the IL for a period of time and was not himself. Still is not himself. Is a 570 OPS.
God.
Right,
worse than Vlad, way worse.
Worse than Vlad.
Way massive more swing for the loss in war.
Yeah, well, because he was significantly better than Vlad last year, and now he is significantly worse than him too. So like that's Vlad on crack right there, man. So I mean, at least we don't have that. But then on their side of things, they do have a better pitching staff than us, and a couple better other things too. So just weird and wild stuff to see 2 of these incredible teams walking into the season at a spot right now. Where it's like they almost look unrecognizable.
I genuinely actually don't like this season overall. Not even just for the Blue Jays, but just overall in the American League. Like, this is really sad baseball, ladies and gentlemen. Like, really. Like, the fact that the Mariners are doing this, we're doing this, the fact that, like, the Yankees could go on a 7-game losing streak and still be in a very good place, that no one else is even, like, obviously the Rays are, they passed them, but, like, nobody else is even close.
That's
like,
kind
that's
of,
so sad.
That's actually embarrassing for the rest of us.
Exactly.
Like, nobody's going to punish them for this 7-game losing.
No.
We're just, like, sitting on our ass, like, twiddling our thumbs here. Yankees are like, oh, we can afford to lose a couple games, no problem. No. And they actually can. And they did. Yeah.
Like, it's actually unbelievable. Yeah, they're 48-38 right now. The next team, what? The Guardians are closest to them? Yeah. Like,
Guardians would be 46-42.
That's crazy. But again, that's why I'm saying, like, this year, I just genuinely, we even said this before we went live, it's just a genuinely unlikable year to watch, and I'm waiting for something to turn around. And we keep, like, going around in circles trying to figure out what that is. Nobody knows this. It's just got to be magic again. Like, the magic's got to turn this season around.
Yeah, like, you just got to find it, and then it's there, and, like, for whatever reason, like, you have it now. You know? It's like you're not thinking twice about it. You're not thinking about how you got it, but you have it now, and that's honestly something that the Jays haven't had. They haven't had that magic. Now, looking ahead at this stretch right here, it probably, I mean, likely the most important one leading up to the trade deadline, because we're going into the All-Star break here. It's 9 games on on the road. Seattle's going to be tricky. I know that they're not the best version of themselves, but they are still a better team than we are. They are 6-4 in their last 10, and they are playing at home. So advantage certainly goes to them. Now the Giants, this is easy, and it should be easy.
Oh yeah.
They're looking. I saw a tweet this morning, and I'm going to talk about it tomorrow in a video. They're looking at trading away everything.
Right.
Devers, Adames, Chapman, Robbie Ray, like everyone.
Yeah.
They're like Louis Arias.
Like all that work that Buster Posey did is just not working.
Well, it's all of a sudden, and who knows why. Like those are all individually very good players. I think about those guys, and I'm like, oh, those are all pretty good players, and it's kind of similar to the New York Mets. It's just not working right now at all.
Cancer in the clubhouse. It's just for whatever reason not meshing.
And it was kind of working last year. And
Yeah,
again, we'd have to do a deep dive on San Francisco. I don't know what their problem is, but like they are. I mean, look at their records, right? They're right next to the New York Mets. So like for me, that should be an easy and a win of a series, even though you're on the road. That is a pitiful baseball team that's looking to ship off all of their pieces. I have to imagine that a lot of those guys are checking out from the San Francisco season and starting to think about, hey, where am I going to be playing in a few weeks from now? And then they finish that off with San Diego. Tougher than San Francisco. But, again, not a
team too.
They're a weird team. We're a weird
Yeah,
team.
like I'm pretty sure last time I checked, because we talked about them on Bad for Baseball, our other podcast. Last time I checked, their offense was the worst in all of baseball, like 30th in many categories. But then I think their bullpen was like one of the best because you got Mason Miller back there. And then their pitching staff was pretty uninspiring too, which is weird. But they're still, in a very competitive National League, still somewhat above 500.
Which is wild. Because again, like they were. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like the 8th inning or 9th inning is where they're. And actually, they're right at 500 right now. Yeah, so they're right at 500. They're 4-6 in their last 10.
Yeah, I don't think they're that good. If we got to beat those guys. I know it's on the road and you're in the West Coast, but like you got to beat those guys.
Yeah, like ultimately,
if you want to be a serious frigging team.
Well, and if you look at the like what you're going up against, I mean, the collective record of all of these three teams is below 500.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the Seattle is 2 games over. These guys are at 500, and San Francisco is terrible. Like this is probably your last chance at proving that you do deserve to be bought in on, because after that you're going to go to the All-Star break, and then you're going to have about 2 weeks leading up until the trade deadline. And if you just went on the road and you go 3-6 on the road or 4-5 on the road, I mean, I think
if you fall out of the wild, like if you fall further out of the wild card,
Yeah, like it's just at that point, okay, maybe you can start to convince yourself, like we're 4 games back of the wild card, like we could still get in on this. But I personally wouldn't want to buy. If I'm watching us go on the road and lose to these teams, and I'm watching us at home lose to teams also that are this bad, so important stretch.
It is an important stretch, folks. Guys, let us know in the comments down below, like whether or not you think that they're going to do something. Because I see some people saying, like, if they do go on and they sweep the Mariners, I think that gives us a little bit of a jolt of life. But we're asking for a lot right now. When you talk about moving goalposts, the goalposts, if we're thinking about it physically, it's getting really, really thin, and we got to make an incredible run right here, and we got to really nail it through there to get back.
Well, and I was saying, for me, like, to genuinely be to actually buy back in on this season, and not just for, maybe we can squeak into playoffs, but like actually maybe we can do something.
Right.
I want us to be back at 500 by the All-Star break. Now, is that possible? It would require a lot. It requires the best road trip of their season. They'd have to go 7-2. But that, like, you want me to genuinely, like, that's when I'm like, okay, holy shit, maybe we did actually find the magic again.
Right.
That's what that is. Because, okay, you go like 5-4, it's like, all right, great.
Nothing's changed.
We're 4 games below 500 now.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta see us find the magic again.
I feel like we're repeating the same things, but screw it. What needs to change in order for them to actually go on a magical run? Like, or is it just unexplainable? Like, You know,
Well,
like that Canada Day
realistically-
magic. Like, that was magic.
Yeah, like realistically, everything needs to change a little bit. Like offense has got to come up clutch with runners in scoring position, which they haven't done, largely in the season. The starting pitching has got to be more consistent. They've had stretches where they're great. They've had stretches where they're terrible. That's just that for the rest of the season. That needs to be we're fully consistent now. There's no more stretches of bad. Bullpen's honestly been pretty good. I'm not upset about. Yeah, like bullpen's been fine. Defensive mistakes, those have got us, like everything's got to be better, and that's why we keep using the word. It's like, well, it's got to be some type of magical thing here, because it feels like all of it's got to shift just like that. You go 7-2 though, that's what that means. Like, you don't just luck yourself into going 7-2. No, like you did that, and so that for me is kind of the record where I'm like, oh shit, like this is a team that's back.
And we got Vladimir Groundout Jr. Let me get that correct in the chat here, saying $500 million for laughing, jacket, and holding, and double plays. So also just a little hint, like, yeah, like we also need that guy to do something as well.
Yeah,
like, that guy needs to be the foundation. And like we saw Canada Day, like a nice double. First at bat, did nothing else the rest of the game. But, like, that guy has got to be there to set the foundation when we don't have explosive games from unexpected sources like Sean Keys and company.
And that's part of the runners in scoring position problem. Like, if everything's going to change, the guy bats third every day. You know what I mean? It's like if he bats third every day, well, there's going to be runners in scoring position. So if the runners in scoring position numbers are going to get better, it's going to come from him, right? That's going to be a massive part of it, and we got to stop those double plays. So yeah, it's all of it. It's everything. Vladdy's certainly a big component in that, but it's all of this whole team has got to shift. 7-2 does that for me though, and I'm all the way bought back in. And at that point, I'm thinking, hell yeah, Ross, like, throw the prospects out there, like let's buy, let's go in. But anything less than that, and I'm like, damn, like we're still in the same spot.
Yeah, you kind of reminded me. I want to bring up this real quickly. We're doing our mailbag today, guys. Every Friday we do the mailbag, and we usually do it at the end of the stream. But I want to bring this one question up because you just reminded me right there. This one was Kaiden right here saying, just my opinion, but I think the Blue Jays should shuffle the lineup a bit. Not at the point of benching Vlad or batting him ninth, but this is a realistic lineup I'd like to see. Thoughts? I couldn't put it in here, but let me read off the lineup that Kaiden sent to us.
Okay.
It would be, and let's get your thoughts, Chad, and your thoughts too, Nick. Clement lead off, second base. Lucas second in right field. Okamoto's batting third at third base. Alejandro Kirk fourth at catcher. Groundout Guerrero Jr. is going to be fifth at first base. Springer sixth DH. Then you have Varsho 7 in center field, Pinango 8 left field, Jimenez 9 running out the lineup. What are your thoughts on that?
I still think that we are, genuinely, if we're going off of what we've done this year, I still think Vladdy's too high.
Right.
Everything else, I think I like it. But right now, the problem that I have with that lineup right there, I guess the one good thing is that 7 through 3 feels pretty good. But the 4, 5, 6,
that's the problem,
which is the meat. And and that's actually like you've taken our good players, they're supposed to be good players, and you put them together, but they're right in the middle of the lineup. Which I guess theoretically could be fine, because if then Varsho or Pinango or Jimenez get on base, then you have the other guys that can actually drive them in. So you just sandwich them in a different spot. But I'll tell you what, those innings of Kirk, Guerrero, Springer right now, anyways, those would not be pleasurable innings to watch.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this get up right here, this lineup. I mean, like you said, if Varsho, Pinango, Jimenez want to set the table for the top of the lineup, I actually love that top of the lineup. I'm not gonna lie. Clement, Lucas, Okamoto, I mean, those are my favorite 3 players to watch right now. Like in the lineup, I love that.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And the unfortunate reality of a lineup that's struggling and your stars are struggling is, like you're not gonna bench your stars or bat them ninth like Kaiden's saying, but you got to put them somewhere. And I guess if you're gonna just put them anywhere, maybe they have games and they can do something with it. Yeah, and then honestly, clumping those other three, I like it a lot. So Kaiden, I think you did some good work there.
Yeah, well, listen, I think it's better than like just the standard thing that we are running out, and it's different and it's new and it's fresh, and maybe that does something for some of these guys. I don't know. What I do know for certain though is like continuing to roll out the same thing every day. That's not helpful for anyone. I also think too, like I love the idea of having Clement, like specifically, forget about Guerrero and forget about Springer for a second, but like leading the game off with guys like Clement and Lucas back to back. Those guys are tough outs, and they make you work for it. It doesn't always result in base hits. It doesn't often result in home runs with those two guys, but they will they will work you. And you know you can
ambush you
exactly right. Like even if it's 2 outs, well, you might find yourself getting to Okamoto and the pitcher's already thrown 13, 14 pitches because he's had to like grind through those other two, and then maybe he leaks one over because he's tired and he makes a mistake and Okamoto takes it yard. Like I like starting the game off with those two, whereas I feel like now, you know, it's like, okay, like he can get through Springer relatively easy, then he's got to go through somebody like a Lucas and that's tough. And then he gets to Vlad, and it's like a reprieve. And it's like, I can throw Vlad anything, and I can easy now to get through this first inning, right? But if you start with those guys, you don't get that. Yes. So I like that top part for sure.
I like it a lot. You cook there, Kaiden. Speaking of Okamoto and being a threat at the lineup, we asked you guys on X who you thought was the player of the month for June, and we don't have an intro for it, but we're going to flash it over anyways. It was Kazuma Okamoto for Player of the Month of June with a whopping 81.6% of the votes. I mean, yeah, he absolutely deserved it. Okamoto in the month of June had an OPS of 913, batted 286, 20 RBIs in 7 homers. Like, that's nuts right there. So, yeah, and there's other guys like Cease, Rogers, and shout out Jeff Hoffman with a 0.75 ERA.
Great month.
Yeah, whip of 0.83. Like, that's really, really good. So I had to give him a nod. But Okamoto, without a doubt, was just, I mean, clearly way better than everybody else.
Yeah, imagine if the offense didn't have Okamoto, right? Like
we're done.
Yes, you know, and I think honestly, like those 3 guys that you listed, Lucas, Clement, and Okamoto, like those are the individuals that are making this team even, you know, like remotely watchable, or at least the offensive side of things. Like those are the guys that you want to see come up, and those are the guys that you know are going to make it difficult on a pitcher. Almost everyone else, it's like, you know, sometimes they come up, sometimes even a guy like, you know, Yohendrick Pinongo, he's exciting. I like to watch him. He also has like really bad at bats sometimes.
Oh yeah,
like really bad at bats, you know. And
he's
honestly,
a free swinger,
like, and same thing with some of the other guys too, like Brandon Valenzuela. He'll have some really bad at bats sometimes, and it's just like, what the fuck was that? Like, what? Like, why did you look at that one and then swing at that one? And that's kind of the same with all of those other individuals. But the top, like Lucas, Clement, and specifically Okamoto, it feels like they're all pretty dialed right now.
Pretty good. And we also, you know, I see Drew Gamer in the chat saying this. Yes, Okamoto also won AL Rookie of the Month.
W's in the chat. Okamoto.
Hey, I made a video. I forget when I made this video. Maybe it was during one of our live streams. But I was talking about how maybe a sneaky underrated Rookie of the Year vote to Okamoto. He just won AL Rookie of the Month. There's no Murakami to compete with when you're here. Little, you know, sneaky shot. If he's this way, not saying he's going to be this way the rest of the year, but if he is,
he'll probably win.
That's a strong case right there.
Yeah, I think actually, I think he would assuredly win. I don't know the situation with McGonigal over there, but I mean, like right now, he's well on pace for mid to high 30 home runs.
Oh yeah,
and if you hit that as a rookie, like you're gonna win Rookie of the Year. They're gonna give that to you. So shout out Kazuma Okamoto. Thank you for it doing something when the rest of this lineup is not. You're not supposed to be this good, but we will happily accept it. Also, massive shout out here to Cypher_he $10 donation. Let's go, boys. Let's hope for a good series. Mariners, more like mid-Rhiners. This is totally not going to age like moldy milk. I don't know what that means. Giving love to all the J fans. Also, congrats Okamoto for AL Rookie of the Month. Yeah, W's in the chat, brother. We appreciate that. We're not going to be live tonight because it's a 10 p.m. start time, and just figured like that's a little late for everybody. But Adam's going to run a solo one on Sunday. Game starts at 5 p.m. So nice little like late afternoon, evening type of game right there. Hopefully it's for a series win or maybe even a series sweep.
That would be super, super nice. And mid-rinners, like they're mid-rinners.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mid-rinners.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to call them on Sunday when we're going for the sweep, ladies and gentlemen. A bunch of mid-rinners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, we're if they're mid though, we're a little bit less than that.
We're buns.
But hopefully, you know what? If we sweep them, then we're allowed to say what it is that whatever it is that we can say. You know, and
Correct.
technically, the last time we played them. Remember, throw back to the last time.
Oh,
we played.
yeah.
You know who had them? Who had maybe
That's
who
right.
knows? Maybe this actually revitalized them when they're like, oh shit, remember when we were good? Remember George Springer where he's like, oh wow, yeah, I remember how to hit the baseball because like throwback to when I was really good at this game.
Oh yeah.
And I hit this huge home run, maybe the biggest home run of my whole career.
Yeah, you know what's so crazy is like that team was so drastic to this team, and it's like they were like that's a very good pitching staff, and arguably one of my favorite and best pitching staffs in all of baseball. And they were able to do some great work off them. It was unbelievable.
Well, I hate reminiscing too much about this bloody team last year, but it truly, other than one guy, and you guys know who it was, other than one guy, it actually never mattered who was on the bump. Never one time. There was one singular individual where it did matter, and he ended up winning MVP for it. You know, ridiculous.
That's why he won MVP. That's why he won it.
Single best performance I've ever seen in my life by a pitcher. But nobody else made a difference. You could have wrote Joe Blow on the card, and it didn't matter. It was the same thing as writing Tarek Skubal, right? Because like we were gonna do the same thing to both of them, right? Other than of course one individual.
Yeah, that individual, man. I mean, again, like that is literally now zooming out why he won it. That was the hottest offense of baseball that was getting to every pitcher. You're the one guy that stopped them.
Yes, exactly. I will forever stand on. I will claim this until I see a better one. That was the single greatest pitching performance I have ever seen in my life over a body of work like that. He deserved to win. He deserved to win all of the stuff for that, and a mad respect for that guy. Anyways, let's transition a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the trade deadline, everybody. As it stands right now, the Toronto Blue Jays will likely be doing some type of conservative buy, probably looking at the pitching side of things. But if they were to fall several more games below 500, they go on this road trip, things don't go so well, they could be looking at selling. Now, one individual who could be a good selling chip, maybe one of the most valuable, Dalton Varsho might be the Blue Jays' most valuable trade chip, but he also feels like a bit of a core piece for the Toronto Blue Jays. So my question to you is, should they be in a position to sell, would you want them to trade Dalton Varsho or potentially hold on to him and try to extend him?
Yeah, if they're in a position to sell, I would be looking to trade him off. I think Dalton Varsho's in a very unique position this offseason where he's one of the only outfielders that's really on the market that provides a bit of value. So he's going to have a lot of people kind of gnawing at the bit. Now, assuming the CBA doesn't interrupt things, he will be having a lot of people competing for his contract. And, at the end of the season anyways, the Blue Jays aren't really in a position to be looking to extend a guy at that point. Now, it has happened in the past where they've extended players near the end of their contracts, right at the end, but that's not how Ross Atkins operates. That's not how this front office operates. They like to see their projections a lot. I actually watched a really good video about Josh Donaldson talking about projections and with Ross Atkins specifically. I would believe that this front office has projections on Varsho, and they're seeing kind of what I'm seeing right now, which is a little bit of a fall off in terms of the arm after that surgery has not been the same. The defense, while still good, isn't that great as it was when we first got him. They're getting beat up a little bit. Still good, but not as good. And, you look at the aging center fielders in today's game, you're going to see that decline happening over a few years. So I think extending him before he hits the market, you'd have to overpay for him quite a bit, and I don't think they're willing to do that. So I think they would absolutely go for more of a selling if they were selling on this team.
Yeah, well, and okay, you're right. That's probably what they would do. Is that what you would do?
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like realistically, I do think that you could actually get some top-tier prospects for Dalton Varsho. just because there's not a whole lot of bats on the market right now. And a lot of people, even though they look at Dalton Varsho how should I phrase this? A lot of people look at Dalton Varsho and don't see a good bat, but I think he's actually been pretty underrated this year because on the season, he's got a mid 700 OPS. It's around the 750 mark. Like, that's somebody who's not necessarily moving the needle, but he's also not actively hurting you either.
Right.
And a good team like the Dodgers or like the Yankees, like, you could put that guy into your 7 spot in your lineup, feel really good about the defense, and then also feel like you're not hurting your offense either. So, yeah, I like Dalton Varsho, and I actually wouldn't be opposed at all if during free agency they re-engaged with him and talked about maybe potentially coming back here and staying here for 2 or 3 more years, assuming the price tag's right. But I also think he's got way too much value right now on this current trade market that it'd actually be irresponsible if they were to sell to not try and trade Dalton Varsho.
I would agree, and we had a couple of people in the chat saying trade Vladdy just out of nowhere. ERC.
Yeah.
I got Jason here saying yes with this is all capitals, by the way, for those on audio. Yes, please trade Varsho. I've been seeing a couple people like push back about Dalton Varsho. When I made my tier ranking, I put him in doing their job because he's still doing his job. He's not hurting you at all offensively. In fact, he's an above average hitter and he's giving you above average defense. But some people were like, nah, this guy's like trash garbage. I believe I had the disaster class. People were like, put him in disaster class. He's terrible. Like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, I find that Dalton Varsho, that's why I honestly wanted to talk about this a little bit, because I do feel like Dalton Varsho is one of the more contentious individuals in the lineup. Like, there's a lot of varying opinions on him.
Yeah.
Some people think it's like, oh, like he's amazing and he's doing really great. Other people look at him and it's just like a big fat negative. Honestly, for me, like, I look at what he's done this year and I think that this is pretty good. Like, all things considered, this is one of his more complete seasons with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
In years prior, like, we were kind of getting the low or high 600 OPS from the guy. Right now, it's like he is not hurting us at all offensively. I'm not going to go so far to say like he's moving the needle, because he's not, but he's also not hurting us either. He is still helping us in that regard, and you are still getting some great highlight plays out there where he's making great catches, and his range is awesome. So
yeah, his range is
I
great.
like Dalton Varsho. I like what he's doing this season. This is kind of what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a bit more maybe because of last year's breakout, but this is still good.
Yeah, 258 batting average, folks. That's his highest batting average with the Toronto Blue Jays ever. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Like, will you take that, or do you want a little bit more power? It's like you can take and give a couple of those things. I think he's got a couple of stretches coming up where he's going to go on a home run. Like, that's what he does.
Hopefully, he does. He's at 7 right now, which is, it's not great in a 248 at bats. But again, I look at the overall OPS totals. I think that there are way more individuals on this team that you can point the finger to and go, hey, there's something wrong with you, as opposed to this guy.
Dude, it's the same thing with like Jesus Sanchez. Like, again, I said he was doing his job because what's his job? Come over here, hit against righties, and provide a bit of pop, and he's done that. Honestly, similar numbers to Dalton Varsho. Yes, I get it. He sucks. He's really bad defensively, but like,
we knew that.
You knew that,
Yeah.
and you knew you're just going to get a bat, and he's doing that. So
yeah, we knew that already, and anybody thinking that, say, Jesus Sanchez was going to come in and like be the next Teoscar Hernandez for us, like you were sold a bill of goods, and that was never going to happen. He's doing pretty much exactly what I could have hoped for, and I still look at Jesus Sanchez as being a very positive addition here. Shout out here to Wheeze Rocks, $9.99 donation.
Go.
As a Blue Jays fan in LA, I find myself cheering for Eric Lauer, who has become a fan favorite among Dodgers fans.
Yo.
Can I root for both teams after last year's events? Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, and thank you very much for the donation. That's great stuff for Eric Lauer that the Dodgers fans are liking him and everything. He has been incredible with them so far. I will forever believe that whole situation was mismanaged by us just as much as it was mismanaged by him. I think that it actually started off with the Toronto Blue Jays being a little stingy with them and probably not being fully forward and truthful with him, because from my understanding, they told him he was going to be a starting pitcher this year and then said, oh wait, no, actually we're gonna go sign Dylan Cease and we're gonna take you to arbitration and we're not gonna give you the money that we want. So I get why he was really pissed off with us. They kind of just straight up lied to him.
Yep.
So I'm happy. You know what? Honestly, I'm happy that he is finding himself over there and that Dodger fans are liking him. You can't root for both teams, though. You can't root for both teams.
You gotta pick a side. You know what's weird is, like, again, like, this front office always talks about, like, projections. Where were the projections that were telling you that Eric Lauer was not going to be a good player?
They were flat out wrong on that one,
like,
man.
I wonder where those projections come from, because I saw a guy last year with my own eyeballs
who was, like, pretty fucking
very
awesome.
good in the rotation, and now. Again, like, we don't know how true this is, but, you know, Whit Merrifield on the 6th-inning stretch was saying, like, it looked like and it felt like he was purposely just doing bad so they would get rid of him and leave. And then it's like, okay, because if that's true, if it's true, I'm not saying it is, if that's the case, then yeah, like, what we saw was not Eric Lauer. But now what we're seeing is Eric Lauer in L.A.
I could believe, like, and again, just, you know, this is all speculation. Like, I don't think he actively would go into, you know, take the bump and be like, I'm gonna leak these over the plate, get shelled, but I could believe that he was not as motivated with the Jays as he is right now. You know, like, I could believe he's like kind of like, fuck, I just got to get this done type thing. Like, you know, when you got a job and you're like, I just got to do the job, right? And you're not really, but you're just trying to do bare minimum. Like, I could believe that. And you know what? Like, that's I think a mismanagement of your assets by Toronto. Like, I kind of put that back on Toronto a little bit and say, like, I think we mismanaged our assets a little bit. And LA, as you know, because they are the best organization in baseball, saw something that we clearly did not, and realized that, no, wait a second, this guy is actually really good. Yeah. What are we doing? Let's pick him up. And now he wants to be there, and they want him to be there, and he's playing great.
Okay, so here's what's funny. And maybe it doesn't prove it entirely, but it's something to note. Remember when he was throwing like 88, 87, 89, and he was averaging like that around here with his fastball? Like, and we were thinking, okay, maybe he's ill. And I think a part of that was true. But then after he got healthy, he was like, why is he still throwing 88, 87, 89? Maybe it's because, like you're saying, he's just like, I'm just going to put this in here. I'm not going to go 100%. I'm going to go 70%. He's averaging 91.5 in LA.
Right.
I wonder, again, we don't know if that's exactly it, but that could be.
Again, like, I don't think he actively was like, let me screw my ERA up.
But let me just, like,
but
whatever.
You know,
I'm tossing it in here.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to,
Yeah, and granted, you know, like, let's face it, we've seen other guys not give 100% effort here on the Toronto Blue Jays either. The one guy that gets paid $500 million half the time jogs to first base and pisses me off to no end, right? So this is not new for us, but honestly, like, shout out to Eric Lauer. Happy that he's figured it out over there, and I wish he figured it out here, but you know what? It was never going to work based on how everything went down.
Hey, speaking of Vlad, actually, I didn't have this queued up, but apparently he's taking over 300 swings a day to get right mechanically. Thoughts
what
on
is
that?
Like the normal amount?
You know? Like 300 is definitely an excessive amount. That's why I got back injury, because like, that's too much. I would say a normal amount would be about 100. You know, you get 100 in the cage. Yeah.
So like he's definitely going above and beyond to figure this thing out. Dude, like, I think that's great, and ultimately, like, that is, if that's true, all he can do. Like, that's really all you can do right now is you just gotta go until you get it right. The problem is, like, when you're stuck in this place, it's like you need time. You genuinely, I feel like he needs time to actively, like, take the pressure off for a second, and then, like, really, because, like, he's gonna be in those cages, like, anxiously, like, I have to get this. I have to get this right now.
Yeah.
You know, and we've all been there where it's like, I have to do it. Like, it's got to go.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, it feels to me like he's so deep in the sunken place. It's like you genuinely, like, he's got to go back. We need to be in February, and like he's got to have the luxury of time and not pressure, and be like, I can take my time and work through the basics. Like, you don't have the luxury of going all the way back to the basics. You got to just fucking get it.
Oh, it's almost like he needs 4 days off in the middle of the season. Oh wait, no, he's going to the All-Star game. Like, like, I get it. Like, we want to vote for a guy, but like, if we're gonna not vote for him, this is the time, guys.
No, I don't think
he needs the break.
I genuinely don't think we're doing him any favors by sending him to the All-Star game. Like,
we're hurting his. Honestly, I think I've said this before, I would genuinely actually be embarrassed. I'm grateful for the fans, but I go there in Philadelphia, and these are Philly fans. they might let me hear it a little bit.
You're already hearing it. I logged into Instagram this morning, and one of the first videos that came up was somebody like talking about, and not like getting angry, like not like criticizing the Toronto Blue Jays players, but just like the format as a whole of the All-Star game. And I think like all of these things can be true. I think that you can say that Blue Jays fans are fucking awesome because, hey, like we're showing up for our guys right now. Like, and the team is telling us go vote. Like that right. They're saying that. Every team tells their fan base to go vote. Every team does it. And we went and voted. Right? So that can be true. Like you can say that Blue Jays fans are fucking awesome for doing that. You can also say that the All-Star voting system is probably just inherently wrong and a little silly.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be called the All-Star game. It should be called like the fan favorite game, Because like, I think people misinterpret All-Star and they think best player. Well, actually, we've been all sold a bill of lies. Right. It is the fan favorite game.
You're like today's star game. I don't know. Yeah,
like the favorite player.
Favorite game. Faces of the game.
The most popular player game.
Right. I mean, like a lot of people have been saying too, like if they wanted to switch it to what NBA does, that could work because I think NBA is like
25?
It's like a 50 for fans. And then like a 25 for I forget how they
players, 25 for
coaches, something like that,
and weight it that way.
And then it's kind of like okay, you can still like you get your guy in there, and like it's like we're voting for our guys and we're supporting our people, but it's also representative of like who is really actively doing it. Let us know down below. Like it feels like this is the first time that this has really become a talking point. Like it's never been like this before. And there was the video I saw too. He was even making examples in the NL. Like it's not just. Toronto Blue Jay players that are
PCA.
PCA. We probably saw the same thing there. He's saying like PCA, like there's no reason he shouldn't be there, and Ronald Acuna is there, and Ronald Acuna, I have Ronald Acuna on my fantasy team. He's largely spent the year on the injured list.
Yeah.
Like what is he doing at the All-Star game?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. We got one more quick hitter of piece of news for you guys before we break down the Mariners series. You got Max Scherzer beginning a rehab assignment in Vancouver. Now, my quick thoughts on this, we love Max. It's awesome to see him try to come back and keep that career alive. But at this point in the year, if we are going to be serious about competing, I don't know how you could put Max Scherzer out there right now. I don't know what the plan is with him. Like, it's got to be, at least until you go and buy at the deadline, it's got to be a combination of Spencer Miles beginning the game and maybe Patrick Corbin, but yeah, I genuinely don't know what you're gonna do with this.
Well, I think it's a little irresponsible to not like the one that that shit is crazy, dude. Like
so
he's got some ridiculous stuff. I have no idea how he was looking at his stuff now. I'm like, how on God's green earth did somebody allow you to go in the Rule 5 draft? Like they really screwed this one up. So like you got to give as many opportunities to that guy as possible. I will forever and always be a Max Scherzer guy. Like, he never needed to come on our show, but he did twice. And you know what? Like, I'd love to get him on again when the season's done and just kind of pick his brain as to how this thing all went down for him. And I do still want to see him have a look here, but it's got to be like you're saying. Like, it's got to be a look where the leash is very short. And there are like we're putting bumper rails up, we're going bowling and the bumper rails are up right here, and the bumper rails is Spencer Miles on one side and somebody else on the other, right? The second that things aren't going well, bang, there come the training wheels in here.
That's a good analogy right there. Bumper rails for Max Scherzer. A couple of people in the chat here saying just retire policing, Jays. Davey Boy saying see how he's throwing, and yeah, that's right. Like you're gonna see if he's got it, then okay, sick. Like maybe we could use you at some point and like squeeze any little juice we have out of you.
That's it.
But if he doesn't look good, like no need to rush him back.
Well, and you know what, I don't think they have been, because like we've been kind of hearing stuff about Scherzer like on and off now for like it feels like months. Like
he came back for a little bit, then got hurt.
Then it's like going back, and then it's like so I think that they also know that, and I feel like he probably also knows that too. You see him in the dugout a ton as well, like just like talking with the guys. Like, I think he's happy to be here. I think he wants to, like he still wants to be in the baseball environment, and that alone is providing value. Like I love the fact that Spencer Miles and Trey Savage and everybody, like even Gausman, like all of them get to talk with Max Scherzer. Like I would find that fucking just really, really cool. And dude, like when there's a bad call or when there's something going on the field, like he is the most outspoken one, and he's like screaming at like that's the fact that we have that guy in our camp is really awesome. If he can throw the baseball at a high level, great, but if not, like let's just keep him there for a bit.
I just had a thought. Could you imagine Pete Walker eventually will retire? Yeah, he's getting up there. Max Scherzer, immediate promotion.
Well, that's what I saw the chat in here talking. Oh, like he would be great, coach and whatever. And who knows? Right? It's a different skill set, but you have to imagine that somebody that's been around the game quite literally his entire life, like him, like he's probably seen, like he's probably in his life chatted with, worked with.
So many different pitchers.
200 different pitching coaches. Like genuinely, like he's hundreds of different pitching coaches he has likely worked with before in some capacity, let alone pitchers and facilities. And he's seen the game change. He's seen it evolve. He's seen it, like he knows everything. There's probably very few people on planet Earth that know more about the art of pitching than Max Scherzer does.
Yeah.
So, look, it doesn't always translate, but if there is any desire for him to stay in the game at a different level, he's one of those guys that doesn't want to start a podcast. come on down to the Toronto Blue Jays pitching coach side of things,
his daughter loved to be here. She wanted to stay here. Maybe they grow up here and he becomes a coach
or
in the Blue Jays system.
If you do want to start a podcast, there's a spot waiting for you right on
here.
Blue Jays today.
We'll take it.
We'll take him. Yeah,
Tuesdays with Mad Max. Here we go. That would be fun, guys. But yeah, let us know your thoughts about that in the comments down below. All right, let's get to the upcoming series, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the Seattle Mariners on deck. Oh boy, it's going to be a fun one because it's going to either determine whether or not we're still alive or probably put us out of our misery. Looking over at what they've been doing so far this year, like I mentioned, top 6 in relief pitcher ERA, top 6 in starting pitcher ERA. But the offense is kind of like our offense.
Yeah.
Really not that exciting. 24th in runs scored. I believe this is our offense. Yes, 25th. I mean, they're slightly better, but really, what's the difference?
Yeah, so it looks like they hit a couple more home runs than we do. They steal a bit more often than we do, but they don't hit for nearly as high of an average as we do, and that's what we do, right? Like, we hit for average, which I think I think that's going to be tough against this pitching staff specifically.
Yeah.
Like, that's always kind of that's always a narrative, and that's something that people talk about, right? It's like, it's difficult when you're one of those teams that like to, string singles together, especially against good pitching staffs.
Yeah.
It is more helpful when you can hit home runs. Last year, that wasn't a problem because we were just goated. We were just on a fucking another level. But that was last year. And this year is, I think that narrative very much applies this year for the Toronto Blue Jays. It will be difficult to string a bunch of hits together against these individuals, especially when just stringing hits against anyone has been very hard for you this year.
It's been very, very hard, and it doesn't feel like lately it matters who they roll out there. It's been pretty tough. However, we did get to what's his name, Peralta, against the Mets, and we really put up a crooked number. But that's also Peralta too. He's a bit shaky. He didn't look like he had his best stuff.
No, he did not.
But you gotta hope that Luis Castillo coming up tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time doesn't have his best stuff. He's going up against Dylan Cease. That's a pretty tough matchup right there. And Cease, you know what it is. Like, you're going to get lots of Ks. You're going to get pretty solid innings. And you might have one bad inning here and there where the walks are coming through. For the most part, you're going to have a good outing. And then Luis Castillo, earlier in the year, he's been like this kind of bulk guy a little bit, sharing with, I think it was Hancock. Lately, though, he's been getting more innings under his belt. 5 2/3, 4 innings, 6 innings was his last 4 starts.
He had a good month of June too.
Yeah, good month of June.
I again had him on my fantasy team, Luis Castillo, and eventually dropped him because he started out the year horrendously. It was just so bad, and they moved him to this bullpen-esque role. It was kind of like a piggyback type thing. Him and another guy. It feels like he got what he needed out of that experience, and it's still we know that Luis Castillo has proven to be a very good pitcher in the past, and I think that the month of June is a lot more indicative of like a 3.38. That's pretty much what he does. That's what he does. He's like a low to mid 3 guy, and I think we can expect that caliber of play probably tonight.
Absolutely. All right. So what are you saying for your score predictions? I'm going to go win, man. Cease bump days. We're riding Canada Day. I saw Louis Varlin in the creek. I think he was with Dalton Varsho fishing.
Flew Hardy as well.
Yeah.
The
vibes were good. we feel the ALCS energy. We remind ourselves who we are, and we get to Louis Castillo. We find a way.
I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I don't like it tonight. I don't like that we're on the road. I don't like it at all. I think we lose. I don't know what the score is. I think we lose. I think you know what? I think it's gonna be a fucking one of those classic, frustrating like 2-1, 3-1, 2-0.
I'd hate that.
Losses, like one of those ones where it's just like, God, like just end the game, please, like kill me already. It's just oh God, we can never come up with anything. I think it's gonna be one of those.
I think Springer hits a 3-run homer when the game's tied at some point. We win it like 5-2.
Okay, all right.
I'm thinking. I've already seen the tweet. Like he does it again.
Yeah,
and like side-by-side pictures by the Blue Jays, social media.
Totally unbiased take right there for sure. Definitely not projecting or anything.
No, definitely not.
Let's shout out the sponsor of this video, everybody. Shout out to Sports Interaction, Sportsbook and Casino. Every game is your game, and you bet with Sports Interaction. We have a couple bets for you guys from Canada's homegrown sportsbook. Adam, you want to go first?
Yeah, my bet's on Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease in the last 9 outings has recorded a lot of strikeouts. Get this. Only 2 times has he recorded a low of 7 strikeouts, and the over-under line for him is 7.5. That's why the odds are so low. It's 1.6 times your money. But if I'm betting on anything and anything that's a lock, Dylan Cease recording a load of strikeouts, that's pretty much a lock for me. So give me the over on the strikeouts for Dylan Cease. He's your ace. He's your guy. He's up against the Mariners, who are struggling. I want Dylan Cease, and I'm betting on Dylan Cease to get it done.
I can't actually remember the last time that we've had a pitcher this dominant with the strikeouts. It might actually be back Robbie Ray, Cy Young year. Like when it would just like straight up like strikeout from a starter, from an actual starter. It might be all the way back to Robbie Ray, Cy Young year. There is not more of a sure thing than Dylan Cease strikeouts in 2026 Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
And Cease might even be better. Actually, I think Cease
from a strikeout
better.
standpoint, 100% he is. He is, yes.
And then you got a bet right here.
I got one saying under 7 total runs. Like I just said, I'm kind of buying into the 2-0 loss, 2-1 loss. Look, Louis Castillo is good now. Dylan Cease is great, as we know. Their offense is bad. Our offense is bad, too. They got a good bullpen. We got a good bullpen. Pretty straightforward. What I'm thinking here. That's why the line is so low at 7 runs. Like no runs are coming in. But I think it makes sense in this one. Shout out once again though to Sports Interaction, Sportsbook and Casino. They got you covered with pitch-by-pitch live betting and easy deposits and payouts. Every game is your game when you bet with Sports Interaction. Go to sportsinteraction.com/BJN to open an account. Ontario only. 18+. Please play responsibly. Let's get into game number 2. So I'm saying loss. You're saying win in game number 1.
Yep.
Game number 2. I don't like it, man. I don't like this one either. All right, it's Shane Bieber, who did have a bit of a bounce back, so that was good to see. He bounced back up against Logan Gilbert, arguably their best starting pitcher, or one of them at least. Very, very good. What do you think in this one? This one on Saturday.
I'm not liking this one at all. Look, Bieber's hit or miss. I could believe he has a good outing. I could believe he has a bad outing. I believe Logan Gilbert's going to give us a run for our money, though. Yeah, he was tough sledding against Cleveland, but Cleveland's a better offense than our offense. He was great against Boston, great against Baltimore, great against Baltimore again, and wow, the Mets actually got to him. But you know what? I'm believing that this is where we get shut down. I'm not sure. I can't really bet on Bieber. I'm saying we get an L here.
Yeah, and in the month of June, right, he has a 2.84 ERA. That's kind of similarly to Louis Castillo. Like, that's Logan Gilbert. That's what you can expect from him. Like, he also, too, same with, like, all of Mariners just started the year horrendously, and now they are starting to pick it up, and he is definitely one of them. I like Seattle in this game a lot. I think that we're going to lose the first 2, man, and I think it's going to be serious panic time. Panic button, by the way, will be coming soon. Coming tomorrow.
We'll be live on I'll be live on Monday. Nick's not going to be here, but I'll have it right here.
Yeah.
I'll have it right here, ready to go. We'll see if I push it then. I think
you know what I'll do is, because it's coming tomorrow, and I'll still be here tomorrow, I will take a video of me hitting it, and then you can choose. I'll tell you whether or not to play it or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll take a video of me pressing the button and panicking, and then it's like, depending on the result, you can play it or not play it.
Well, what determines honestly whether I start panicking or not is this final game right here against the Mariners. It's going to be Kirby up against Yasavage. Yasavage, you know what? Yasavage is starting to turn a corner a little bit. Kind of becoming one of our more reliable guys. A little bit of a stud. I was kind of deciding whether or not to put him in the stud category or the doing the job category. Lately, he's been getting a lot of innings under his belt and helping the Blue Jays win. He's got a 4-3 record up against Kirby, who's a little bit of an up and down kind of guy. He can give you a lot of innings, 8 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, but 3 and run, 3 and run, 1 and run, 2 and run. So you'll get some runs, but a lot of innings. And what are you thinking for this one?
I'm not going to say that we get swept. I don't think it's going to be that brutal. I do like Trey Savage quite a bit. I think that we're going to win this one.
Yeah.
Kirby's going to be good, but I think this is the one where maybe our lineup comes to life just a little bit and gets the job done, and we lose this series 2-1.
I'm thinking we win this one, folks. I don't know what it is. I'm liking the matchups. Maybe there's a bit of hopium in here. I definitely feel it. I like the matchups. I genuinely like the pitching matchups, and their offense again is just like our offense. And if I'm looking at it through that lens, I'm thinking we find a way and we get the season back on track. And I'm not hitting the panic button yet. If we can go and take 2 out of 3 against the Mariners, we'd climb within 2.5 of them. Give me that. I like it.
Yeah, we're moving the goalposts a ton because now it's 4 games. We're not hitting the panic button. 4 games below 500 early July.
Yeah, I mean the panic button. We've moved it to what? 4 games out of the wild card. That's what we kind of moved it.
I mean, for me, I said it's like if they're not back to 500 by the end of I'm still gonna hit it if we lose this series. I mean,
if we lose series, I'm hitting it. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like we
real.
got again. Like I need us to go 7-2. That's it. Like I need us to go 7-2 and actually be like a real team.
Yeah.
So.
If you go 2-1 in this series, you still have an option.
Yeah, you still have an opportunity, right? You'd have to go 5-1 after all that.
Sweep at least one team.
Sweep a team and then win the next. Yeah, it's tough stretch, but like that's what you got to do if you want to like genuinely get back to 500. That's the upcoming series, everybody. Let us know your predictions down below. We got a couple questions for you guys, which we're going to get to right now. The first one is going to come in from Oily Doughboy.
Doughboy.
I'm just getting it up right now.
Gotta find that. Where the hell is the fucking thing?
If you guys want to submit a question, you can do so. The link to do so is in our description. Also, shout out to the 200 people that are watching right now. Hit the like, smash the subscribe button, everybody. Like I said, we're not going to be here tonight as we normally are, but Sunday there'll be a live stream right there. Oily Doughboy saying, if you could bring back one jersey for the 50th season for one game or a weekend series, which one would it be?
I absolutely gotta go with the black Blue Jays.
Oh, dude, you're stealing my thing.
Oh, dude, that's the one.
I
man.
literally
I
had
one.
it straight up here.
Dude, I mean, you could also see that.
Well, I am gonna. Yeah, we're both gonna agree.
We're both
then,
agreeing.
like,
I think those ones are fire. Like honestly, when the City Connects were coming around, I wanted them to pay homage to this. Like I wanted them to be like the black. I guess they are black, but they're not really like this. Like the black, the silver, the blue. Like those are kind of clean now. They're kind of one of my favorite throwbacks, and I'm sad we don't wear them.
Yeah, I honestly, personally, I really like this logo here. Like I
The
just
Jays?
think,
Yeah.
like I just think
It
that
was
logo looks really cool. And
Maybe it reminds me of my childhood. Maybe that's why I like it.
You know, like I
don't
just
know.
feel like this is sweet. Like this looks nasty. You know.
I know.
So I would say the same thing. I'm looking at the 2008 black Blue Jays jerseys. I like the Jays. I know that they don't get a lot of love. Like a lot of people think that they kind of look bad. But
think
I
as
mean,
your-
I like them.
Yeah, like I think as your maybe regular everyday, they got kind of boring. I remember like when I was watching, I was like, yeah, they got kind of boring. I do like the modern ones that we have. Like they're so clean. It pays homage to like the first team that ever came here, like their style. So I like that. But yeah, these are a great throwback. I really wish they would use them more.
Shout out to Jason Stanley Meadows with a $2 donation
Hey.
saying, "Let's go sweep in Seattle." And then
Let's
Austin,
go.
who's been very outspoken here, saying, "Let's go, Jason." You see it. Austin saying, "What are you guys talking about? The Jays are fine. We're in a great place."
We're in a great place. Yeah.
Everybody's all over the map, man. I mean, listen, dude,
Bro, I had someone sorry to cut you off. I had someone tell me in the comments being like, Vladdy's not having a disaster class of a season. He's having a really good season. I was like, what planet are you from?
Well, I had the same thing happen to me as well. I posted a clip about Vladdy like a week or two ago saying he's got to be out of the 3-hole. People are like, what are you talking about? Like, he's getting the job done. I'm like, dude, what baseball have
Yeah.
you been watching? Because
Holy.
I want to watch that baseball.
Yeah.
The baseball I've been watching has not been nearly as fun as whatever it is that you guys are doing.
Yeah. We got a question here from Drew Gamer, and it kind of brings up this up, saying one fact you guys haven't considered about the Jays deadline plans is Rogers. Rogers being communication company. If there's no 27 this season, that's a huge loss. You have to imagine they are telling the front office to make the playoffs to recover some of that revenue, which is why I think they don't sell. Saying there's no 27 season.
That's right.
Next year.
Next year, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something that actually a couple people have mentioned, being like, well, they have to go in this year because there's gonna be a lockout and they need to win, so they're gonna sell some future prospects. Thoughts on maybe that being a factor at all?
Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that it's like coming into a little bit here, but like I do think that we're reaching a bit. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. You know, the owners don't know what's gonna, like, Rogers doesn't know what's gonna happen here. Like, I hear you. I get it. I think that we're reaching a little bit. You know, like I think that you got to play the cards that are in front of you, and you got to play the game that's in front of you. And right now, the game in front of you is saying, "Hey, maybe don't trade for Tarek Skubal because maybe you don't have it. Like, lockout or not, but like." They still want to capitalize on revenue, and I definitely get that. You know, if there is any hope for them to make the playoffs, I'm sure that they will try to do so. They're not going to want to sell, but you know, you got to also read between the lines of what this season looks like here.
Yeah, like, again, there's no need to force something that's not going to work, right? And I think this front office, knowing them, they would know that better than anybody. It's like, yeah, like, we're not going to consider money. They're going to trust us to do our job, and our job is saying don't force this right now. If it's not working, just because there might not be a season, that's we're basing off of a decision to do something now based off something that we don't know, right? So,
and I also I kind of hate that if they do that, because that's the type of shit that I think like leads to really bad decisions.
Oh, really bad
is
decisions.
When it's, you know what, let's actually stop using the logic that we have, and we're gonna make a rash decision because of money, and the ownership is gonna step in and tell you guys how to do your job. And I'm sure that happens to an extent. I'm sure that the ownership has definitely, you know, criterias and KPIs for Ross and for Mark, and they'll come in and, you know, give their 2 cents. But, you know, if they step in and say, hey, like, this is what we got to do at this trade, that sounds like some Boston Red Sox shit that's going to send us back years. And I don't want to end up like those guys. You know what I mean?
Would agree. We got one more question here, ladies and gentlemen. Before we do got to give a shout out to our friends at Table Fare and Social. The Blue Jays won't be back in town for a while, so it's time to plan your trip, everybody. If you're going down to watch a Blue Jays game, absolutely got to check out Table Fare and Social. Before the first pitch, swing by there. They got weekday drinks, great eats, and it's right by the subway, Go, and the ballpark. Table Fare and Social. Weekday pre-games are made simple, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's definitely the spot, folks. Like, if you don't want to necessarily completely break your bank trying to eat somewhere downtown Toronto, but also get something that's like really good, highly recommend. Shouted here to Ryan with the final question presented to you by Table Fare. If you guys became the new managers of the Blue Jays, what would be your first steps in fixing this slump as soon as possible? That's a great question.
I love that question.
I'm taking some advice from Kaiden. I am switching up the lineup quite a bit. That's number one right there. Whew.
I'm turning Miles into a starter every single day.
If we can, right? If you can like figure out a way with because we don't know all about his innings and pitch limit and everything like that.
He's pitched 73.
That's the thing. He has been pitching quite a bit.
So I'm setting him on a new schedule right now where I'm getting you ready and ramped up for 80 to 90 pitches, and you're starting.
I'm talking and I'm figuring out what the fuck is going on with David Popkins right now, and why is Varsho still swinging at stuff up here, and why is Sanchez chasing stuff inside, and why is Vladdy doing what Vladdy is doing? Like, I'm trying to get to the bottom of that and help that process along here, or at least just like, you know, crack the whip a little bit as to like get the ball rolling there a bit more. I'm
holding simulated batting practice, and what I mean by that is like we're simulating a situation in a game, we're simulating a count, and I'm gonna get my pitchers or even a traject machine maybe, and we're gonna throw you a pitch, and what would you do in this situation? And we're gonna practice that. I'm doing it with 0-2 counts. I'm doing it with 0-0 counts. I'm doing it with 1-0 counts, 2-0 counts. Because the worst thing is when we get into a favorable count and then we start expanding and chasing. Like I am simulating that. And then I'm recording it back. Okay, that was a good layoff. That's a bad layoff. Like blah 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 blah. Like I'm actually holding actual practice. I know that's hard during regular season, but you have to do that. Like they're not doing it. I'd be doing that, putting it in their brains at least.
And great point by Leah here, banging trash cans. Yeah. How do we cheat? Hey, listen, if we can't do this legit, how do we cheat? How do we get back to fucking playoffs?
Let's get the Bluetooth pitch comm cheating.
Yes, yeah, that's what I've been saying, man. Like there are ways around this thing.
The AI Bluetooth. If you guys don't know that, it's when you get a Bluetooth hidden in the pitch comm, where someone's gonna relay what AI will tell me what the correct pitch is to throw
the best
in this situation.
possible pitch based on everything,
history,
everything. Yeah, it does all of everything. It's like you will get this guy if you execute a 12-6 curve here.
Correct.
You know, it'll know stuff that we just don't know. But folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Hit that like, smash that subscribe button on your way out. Hopefully, next Blue Jays Today show will be a we are back type of Blue Jays Today show. Shout out to all of our YouTube members. It is $5 a month to become a YouTube member. You guys are absolutely awesome and very appreciated.
Yeah, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go! Thanks for watching the Blue Jays Today show. We're going to be live every Monday and Friday at noon, so we hope to see you back here as we're breaking down the upcoming series.